This is my road, let it roll. Pack my dreams in a beat up leather case, left the dust of that suffocating place. They said a girl like me should stay in line, but I'd rather lose their map than lose my mind. Tune the radio to a station playing wild and free. Windows down, smelling like the pine trees. 500 miles and I'm just getting started. Say goodbye to the heavy-hearted. Oh, nobody's holding the reins tonight. I'm chasing the edge of the morning light. This is my highway, my open sky. I've got the wings and I'm ready to fly. No yellow lines can tie me down. I'm leaving my tracks all over this town. Freedom, freedom, yeah. Now they call me an outlaw, call me a breeze, shaking the leaves right off of the trees. Ain't no speed limits on the choices I make, with every single risk that I happily take. Got a heart like an engine, loud and true, writing my own rules. Nothing brand new, just an old soul singing with the modern beat, dusting off the pavement under my feet. This is my highway, my open sky. I've got the wind, can tie me down. I'm leaving my tracks all over this town. Freedom, freedom, yeah, ooh, yeah. And if I get lost in the dark of the night, I know my own stars will show me the light. No more shadows to cover my face. I'm running my pace, I'm winning my race. Freedom, yeah, just let it roll.
Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Phoenix Talks. I'm your host, Phoenix, and it is so fantastic to see you guys here. We're an hour later, but the stream is still going to be amazing. And yes, Tammy, you are definitely going to see some big old fireballs drop today here. I am so excited for every single one of you. Welcome in. I'll give you guys a shout out. Remember, we have to obviously do our legal disclaimer for all of you who join us. You know, we are probably the only true truther community that comes together to find the truth. And I just have to say, we do have literally the best mod squad on YouTube. Absolutely 100%. And remember, this legal disclaimer, I usually show it on my banners. Don't know why it didn't pop in here, but there you go. Remember, this content is informational, commentary, especially commentary, and entertainment purposes only, and a little bit of education here and there. All opinions of those are the creator, and they're based publicly available information, interpretation, and speculation. And remember, folks, nothing stated is intended to accuse, defame, slander, or harm any person or entity, not even libel. Okay, so be careful what you say here. Let's be on our best behavior. Remember, if you are a clown, you will get this.
Oh, giggle, giggle, what a mess. I'm the funniest clown, I must confess. Whoopsie!
And you will be shown the door. Now, if you threaten, harass, dox anyone here, you are really considered a... So you all kind of get the idea. And believe me, if you drop a fireball comment, you are getting the...
You are the greatest. of all time.
Okay, you're going to get that cute little goat, and you'll be entered into the $50 drawing at the end of the month for our what? Our $50 Amazon gift card. And remember, if you become a member by the end of this month, there is another $50 gift card to Amazon. It's all electronic. Don't need your address, just your email. And guess what? You will be entered into that drawing too. And that will be announced. What is the 31st? Is that Saturday or is it? No, it's Friday night. It's Friday night, folks, because let me just look at my little calendar here. Yeah. Okay, so Saturday's the 1st. I'll announce it on Saturday and or Monday. So get ready for that one. And there's quite a few people here that have won some large gift cards. So don't forget, this content is not legal medical professional advice. Viewers should do their own research and form their own conclusions by watching. You do acknowledge that the discussion is alleged here, speculative, and subject to this disclaimer. Now remember, folks, all individuals, all, not just some, they are presumed innocent unless, and obviously per their own words, until proven guilty. We're all innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. And that definitely includes Brian Kohberger and due process. And what else do we always say here? What do we say? Can anybody guess it? I'll throw you into the drawing. Well, let me refresh your memory. I'll wait till a few people comment. Let's just see how many people we got in here that's going to know the answer. I'll give you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so, something that we always say here, that, you're innocent unless proven guilty in the court of law or by your own words, but you have to be proven beyond a reasonable doubt. And folks, there are a ton of reasonable doubts in this case all over the internet. There is reasonable doubt. And Kohberger himself has said factually that I'm innocent. I hereby declare my intention to enter a not guilty plea. See, he never entered a plea in the first place. No, folks. The judicial system entered a plea for him. That is factual. 100% factual. All right, so we got the, little housekeeping things out of the way. And don't forget, Justice for All, that's one housekeeping thing that I need to share. You can find all the documents there, all the court, all the expert witness list. You can find the repository, the PD records, court transcripts, FBI reports. You can go look at the debris that everybody is talking about that was in Ethan's hands per the experts. You can go look at Payne's FBI transcript and the expert exhibits, all the books that were found in Kohberger's apartment, text calls, etc. of Madison, DM and Bethany. You can go and look at Ray's full report, press releases, you name it, forensic reports up the yin yang, even the supplemental to the new autopsy reports. You can go look at the fireballs, and 90% of convicted without a trial. Yeah, folks, I brought you all these real stats. This
essentially convicted in the media. You don't have to read but a few articles to see how negative they are about him. He has a right to have this information withheld, brought out in public, so that people can see it's not this neat little package. So people can start to wonder if Brian's innocent. Your Honor, Brian is innocent.
All right. So you can go and see the highlighted videos, all the exhibits, more documents that disappeared overnight are all right here from December 30th, 2025. They've taken them down. I put them up because it was released to the public. And a couple of just some sweet spots that we've talked about in the case. So it's all there at Justice for All, FOURALL. You can check that out. All right, so let's get into this today. I'm going to welcome y'all in, and we are going to talk about what happens next. What happens next when counsel is appointed? Because we've already seen, and if you've watched yesterday's, you have seen the actual documentation that Koberger filed his PCR, sorry. And Judge Hippler has already said, okay, we're going to appoint you counsel. And the next part is they go through a bunch of attorneys that are qualified death penalty certified or appellate attorneys, and then they will go ahead and go through a step process. But here's my question to you. How many of you understand this process? Maybe this is the first time you're ever seeing this. Now, I've seen habeas corpus documentation in the courts. I've seen that play through. This is much different. So if anybody has gone, I've never seen a plea withdrawal. That's why I went down the rabbit hole to go see what in the world happens next. Because I'm just like you. I've never seen one, and I had to go down the rabbit hole to understand what the heck, right? But first, before we get into this, I want to bring your attention to this G crash out, guys. This is wild. This is absolutely wild. Has anybody been watching the crash out online with the G's, especially Christy? Has anybody seen this crash out in real life? Oh my goodness. This is absolutely wild. Okay. Now, granted, people hold themselves differently, they respond differently, but some of the things that I'm seeing make me kind of question the integrity of this case. I am just shocked to say the least, right? And I know a lot of you are going to be like, "Oh, Phoenix, come on." No, this is serious, folks. This demeanor in public is shocking. It is just shocking. What am I talking about? Well, let's talk about this crash out. Okay. I've got a clip real quick that, well, let's watch the clip first. And then what we'll do is we'll roll on over to the actual screenshots of this holy moly crash out. I can't help but to laugh. You know, I use laughter as my medicine.
Year after pleading guilty to the brutal murders of 4 University of Idaho students, convicted Idaho killer Brian Koberger is now claiming that he is innocent. And in an interview with the New York Times from prison, Koberger now says that he was misled into accepting the deal, now wants to withdraw his guilty plea. Joining us now to react to the shocking news, the mother of Kaylee and one of Brian Koberger's victims, Christy Concalves, is with us. First of all, my deepest, most profound sympathy. He pled guilty. I saw the evidence in that case. We saw the many times that he pulled into that driveway. We know that he was down that block all that time. I'm sure this is got to be very devastating to you. What's your reaction to that?
I mean, it's not the best news by any means, you know, to wake up to just on a Monday morning. But on the other hand, I can't say that we're surprised, even though the plea came with the promise of no appeals. We knew that wasn't factual, and we knew that that wasn't, you know, I guess, constitutional and at the appellate level. And we didn't think it was not going to happen. We knew we'd be hearing from him again, and September was coming up, and that would be the end of his appeal. So we weren't really shocked. And honestly, either way this goes, whether the judge dismisses it right out the gate, fantastic. Or if we wind up in court, we still feel that, like we wanted to go in the first place, the trial. We are very confident in the evidence in this case. And hopefully, if we do go to trial this time, he will be convicted and sentenced to death.
I read your statement. He chose not to leave his fate or the facts of the case to a jury. That was his choice. He admitted his guilt. And when asked whether he was actually guilty, he said yes. So I'm sure in your mind and your family's mind that there was finality to you here, even though you lost your beautiful daughter.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We were expecting it to be done. Although, we were kind of waiting for that this coming September to pass. And we were getting close, but, we didn't really talk about it, just kind of laid in the back of our heads. And this morning, Steve called me and was like, it's happening. Yeah. So all we could do is go through it.
Christy, we're praying for you, all the other victims' families, your beautiful daughter, your family. Such a tragedy. They seem like such a great group of kids. They really did. Thank you for being with us.
And that was it for Hannity. But, they have been making the rounds. They have had Ray on a panel, and Christy's crash out is nothing short of what they've been doing to Kohberger the entire time. Are they just blind, in my humble opinion, to the documents? Are they not realizing this? At first they said they were shocked. Well, if they were reading and watching and paying attention, it wouldn't have been such a shock like it has been for the truthers. All right. So first off, Christy posts this, and I cannot believe one thing that stands out. I'm going to read it to you, and I want you to drop your thoughts below. Let's go, Judge Hippler. Okay. 1 second. Hold on a minute. What is this? Hold on. I just want to double check myself. Yeah. Okay. All right. I just wanted to double check my spelling here. And, okay. So some people who crash out, they don't check their spelling. And I'm not the spelling police here, but I'm just saying, right? I mean, if you've got this many people on a Facebook page marked as a private investigator, what are they investigating? I've always asked myself that. But Hippler is 2 P's, folks. It is 2 P's, okay? Hippler. Got it? And it's not wasting any time. Judge Hippler is not wasting any time. One day closer to the firing squad for this 0. Well, I was going to scratch it out and put hero, but I didn't. Don't get me wrong. I know this is all part of the process. Well, hopefully they do understand this process. I mean, honestly, I believe, and I can show you in the Washington and the Oregon repository, I believe Steve allegedly has been in trouble in this kind of criminal background arena. So he would know kind of the process. And also his brother would kind of know this process. And then it goes on to say, I don't need to be scolded by anyone. Well, I don't know who was scolding her. I mean, she didn't call anybody out, or is this just in general? Telling me that this doesn't mean anything, blah, 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 blah. Okay. I know this doesn't mean he'll get a new trial. I'm being wishful, though, so let me have it. Well, nobody ever wants to have to go through something like this, first of all. Second of all, I mean, I know they tune into certain creators and they listen and they work with and they push things to, and they get eventually the word out that way. But this is a public page, and she's backlashing at the own people who supported her along the way, which blew my mind. I had to double check and go through people and look at it and be like, wow, this is really brave. And when you see something like this, right? When you see something like this, I always wonder, why do they put, I mean, if you're going to say it with the full chest, right? you don't have to put these double saying hashtags. Gonzalez Army of Love. Okay. I don't know about you, but some of this just doesn't sit well with me. It doesn't sit well with me because, you know, she edited this. She edited it. And I've got the original, and I'm sure a lot of people do. I'm sure they do. Some people don't miss a thing, right? So, I mean, if you go back and you look at the post, you can see how it was edited. All right. She put in, obviously, firing squad, and you can go and look at her own edits. Okay. Let's go, Judge Hippler. Don't get me wrong. Then she added all this blah, 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 right? About, I don't know, 15, 16 minutes later. And I'm just like blown away. I mean, how does this make you feel? I mean, they have sent verbal threats. There are videos of Steve hinting at, hits and threats and all this stuff. And then they continue this firing squad. Let's go. Facts, truth. I don't think we're all on the same page. I mean, I know that they're trying to get justice for their daughter. We're trying to find the truth. Even that includes maybe some suspicious behavior on all parties. But honestly, in my opinion, and this is my sole opinion here, some of the crash out, I mean, maybe they just need to take a day off and chill, right? I mean, that's my humble opinion. So here's the next one that I was like, what? Okay. Then they say he sure didn't act alone. I don't even think that's the case. There's evil people still walking the street who's responsible. I just hope no matter what happens, they have the right murderer. Please don't jump my ass for this. We have our own opinion. I'm entitled to mine. And this is just somebody who supported the page for a while. Just like everyone else is entitled to theirs. But these kids are never going to rest at peace until this whole case is put to rest. Right? You got to go through the motions. And if his counsel was the one that was coerced him to take the plea deal, like he states in his filing, which is a affidavit that you truthfully said on paper in public view, then here's my thought on this. Logically, folks, they knew this was going to come back around. That's how karma works. They knew taking a plea deal doesn't mean no appeals, doesn't mean no PCR or no habeas corpus, because she just said by herself, she knew that this was going to happen or may potentially happen. And this is a process. And we, all of us, you, me, strangers, those in prison, they still have constitutional rights. But here's what takes the cake. I don't know who's responding to this or managing this page, or if it's a friend managing the page or some social media PR person. I kind of doubt that. But the response blew my mind. And I see a lot of people in agreement. Jenny Lynn, keep your absolute ignorance off my page. I actually hope he gets released and come for your family. Wow. That's not even a fireball. I need to make a little media whatever and have something like, I don't know. What do you guys think we should have up here for people who act like this? Like a no brain, or maybe a head exploding or something like that? Because I just can't imagine they're trying to exude love and Christ and their hat and all their other things. And then now we see this and we're supposed to support this. We're supposed to support this. Yeah, I was actually going to make a video and I thought, you know what? I'll clip this video. I'll make a short. I'll put it out there like the Cy Ray one. and the hidden witness. But I just thought to myself, I know she's got to be hurting. A mother, if you understand what happens to women's bodies when they hold their child in their belly and they grow, it is in their blood. They are housed. They are blood of your blood. And just because your child is not with you anymore, that doesn't mean you don't feel. I get that. But think about the opposite way. Koberger, think about his mom. You know, you have to have empathy. You can have sympathy, but you have to have a little bit of empathy here. Think about him saying he's innocent, and he was trying to tell his attorney that. And even in the court records, I mean, Ann Taylor put in there how difficult it was to work with her client. You've got it stacked against you, but yet we're going to take a guilty plea to save your life. Your mama can come visit you. Your family can come visit you. We're going to give you everything that you need. I'm sorry, folks, but I'm going to get on a high horse right here, because our judicial system, our correctional and justice system, and the byproduct of our justice system, the jails, prisons, law enforcement, wardens, jailers, anybody in that whole entire system, all the way up to the judge, they don't, in my opinion, know how to handle people with autism. That's just my opinion. I've been there with my own son. And mind you, he didn't do anything wrong. Believe me, there was a big, huge investigation. He didn't do anything wrong. And sadly, there's enough people out there that, I got to go back and check the spelling. I was in a hurry to throw this up there. There's enough people out there that still don't know how to handle those with autism. They're not privy to it every day. They don't know about tics or, meltdowns or things of that nature. And I think it's about time that the numbers have flipped, guys. There's more people with autism, neurodivergent, under that whole spectrum of ASD, ADHD, OCD, ODD, ADD. I mean, there's a whole gamut. And we need to be more aware of them in public. I will tell you a quick just flashback that I just had in my head. My son was 6, and we stopped into Subway to get something to eat real quick, because it was just one of those hot summer days. You don't want to cook. Grab a sandwich, and I don't buy anything else when I go in there. If I buy something, I just buy a sandwich. And he was standing in line with me, and it was at the end of the day, and, he was off the chain. I'm just going to say he was off the chain. He wanted to look at everything, touch every single bag of chips, and turn it around and read the ingredients. Oh my God, read it to me. And he was just off the chain. And I told him, I said, son, grab a bag of chips, hold it, and I'll get you chips. And then as soon as we're done with this sandwich, we're going to go home and we'll sit down and eat together. And the guy in front of me that was in the process of telling her, make my sandwich this way, he turned to me and he said, you know what? Your son will never make it in elementary school. This guy was a teacher, folks. This guy was a teacher. And I thought to myself, what an asshole. And I looked him straight in the eye, 10 toes down, 10 feet tall, bulletproof chest, and told him, how dare you speak that over my child? He will do amazing things in this world. And I'll tell you, to this day, He has overcome some things that people on this planet may never face, and he is still a champion. Now, when you're up against this, you really don't understand. And a lot of people out there still don't understand what this case is about, why this case is so important, because I want everybody to just think about this for a minute. What has come out of this case so far that has changed laws, that has changed the court process or precedents in regards to the Kohberger case? Think about that for a second. Now, in the state of Idaho, they will not release autopsy pictures or, think about how important it is to release photos, crime scene photos. I mean, real, actual crime scene photos. If somebody wants them and willing to pay for it, and they just want to investigate the case or write a documentary or write a book or whatnot, you can't even do that in the state of Idaho anymore. And this is becoming how easy it is to fake a case, folks. Yes, Phoenix said it. It becomes that easy. And in the state of Idaho, you don't get to see anything for 50 years. You don't get to see anything that you shouldn't, just like in the state of New Jersey. If you want a marriage certificate, you have to wait 50 years. If you want a death certificate in Idaho, you have to wait 50 years. Who's going to be here in 50 years to get Kaylee's death certificate? Who's going to be here in 50 years that's going to request Xana or Ethan's or Maddie's death certificates? So, what do? We file and we ask for the information we can. That's what we do. So, I hope you guys understand that in this PCR, I mean, we had Kathy from Indie Zone on the other day, and she confirmed it. It might be a long uphill battle. And I agree with you. All the redacted, all the charges, all the freaking stuff that has happened in this case. Yeah, Tammy, when my son, she says, was born 36 years ago, people never heard of it back then. When Anne smiled, he smiled. He was just trying to follow her lead. Absolutely, Sarah. And not everybody's going to see these things. And that's what breaks my heart. And maybe that's why he was so difficult to work with. He doesn't know the justice system like we think I could probably say, in my opinion, he doesn't know the law or like an attorney would. But I'm sure he's smart enough to try to figure it out. Right? You have some people that just read something once, they remember it, and then they know how to engineer the whole thing. It's weird. Some people can do that. But there are people out there every day that can do this. All right? I mean, my son, by the age of 4, he knew how to tell me all about molecules and speed of light and all these other things. And I was like, dude, where did you learn that? The internet? Right? Just Google whatever. You're bored, just start Googling everything. And it's wild. So, state of Idaho, you can't get information of law enforcement officers involved in any incidents. I did not know that, Caleb. Did not know that. Wow. And Lovely Me says, my heart hurts for him. I hope he sues the piss out of everyone, including the G's. Your opinion matters. And, if you got a beef with me, you got a beef with me. I'm not going to throw everybody out of here, I know that there are some little trolls and spies in here that need to see what we've got. Because they got to make sure that we don't tell everybody, guys. Miss P, does the university lawsuit pause now? Can Kathy come back and explain? Yeah, I've asked Kathy. She's more than welcome to come back. But she's going down rabbit holes too. Remember, she said she's not a criminal attorney in the background, but I've seen some of her work and it is amazing. So we're going to follow the EW lawsuit. Not much has moved on that. I think it's going to have to just take a back burner to see what happens. And I think that's why Judge Hippler was so under the gun to try to appoint someone. And remember, it's going to be a public defender paid for by the public through the court, through colleagues that they know. They take a rotation. There's like people that have to be qualified to take on a case like this. And then they go through the rotation and they say, okay, how's your caseload? Tell me what you've got going on. Tell me how many cases you have. When do you have hearings? When they have to look at this and determine, is this going to be the best fit for what we need? And that's how it works. So with that being said, I want to say this. This is the actual legal way that anyone could help Kohberger. All right? I'm only going to say it once. I know I've said it before a couple of times. What is the legal way to try and help him? Now, if you want to help Kohberger, do it legally. What do I mean by that? Well, first he has to get an appointed attorney for the PCR. All right? Then the counsel is going to review the complete record. They have to, by law, the complete record. And if there's anything missing, they need it all. They need the plea hearing, the sentencing transcripts. They need his handwritten PCR. They need a written plea agreement. They need all communications, all work product between Kohberger and all his former attorneys. They need counsel's investigation and all the expert reports unredacted. All the discovery allegedly not explained or disclosed to Kohberger. All of it. Any claimed promises, any pressure or misinformation concerning death row and prison placement. Then they need affidavits and sworn statements and probably a deposition from his parents or anybody that was there that made these promises and claims. Because Kohberger is accusing his former lawyers of ineffective counsel. Attorney-client communications reveal those allegations, and that work product may become discoverable. They must share it. And the privilege is generally waived only to the extent necessary to litigate these claims. That means they have to go through all the work product. This is kind of like asking for an investigation within your case. Some third-party attorney, very highly qualified, is going to take a look at everything and give their opinion eventually to the judge. And the second part of that is, keep in mind, an amended PCR petition that he gave is likely going to come down and be typed up nicely, given by a sworn affidavit of this new attorney that's appointed, and probably have a memorandum in place that only the judge and the attorneys will see. Excuse me, let me grab a drink of my iced tea. And then they're going to have more legal petitions supported by Kohberger's affidavit, records, correspondence, more expert reports, more witness affidavits, evidence showing what counsel knew and what they told him. And then obviously an explanation, like I said, to the judge of all the alleged problems and changing his decision to plead guilty. What changed? Idaho requires, y'all, more than just allegations. PCR petition must contain or be accompanied by admissible evidence in claims. And that's via the Court of Appeals. That is in black and white. Okay? And this is what something of that nature would look like. I went and found one for you guys so that you kind of will, if it floats around, believe me, there's a lot of fakes out there. I'm going to talk about fakes today. There is a lot of fakes, fake information, disinformation, but this is what it looks like in the Court of Appeals, the state of Idaho. And obviously, this is now changed to Brian C. Koberger versus the state of Idaho. See, now he gets to stand up and say, hey, it's going to come through and say a factual and background procedural. They're going to give a background. They're going to give a standard overview. They're going to give an analysis. And this is what it's probably going to look like at some point during this litigation. And it could go on forever, right? I'm sure his is going to be really, really long. I think it's going to be really super long. So when he goes through this process, I'm all for it, because after that's done, then the state responds. See, it's like back and forth, right? It's like tennis. You hit the ball and file a motion, then they get to respond, and then you get your last say. So this time around, Brian gets his first say, and he gets the last say. So whatever the state responds to, the state is going to have some good arguments. You know, they're going to argue. Like they're going to argue. What do you think they're going to argue? What do you think they're going to say? I mean, we've heard it all over the internet. We've seen it in views. We've seen it in interviews. What do you think the state is going to say? Drop your idea below. I want to hear, because we haven't heard anything. We heard from the state attorney general, Raul Labrador, but we haven't heard from Bill Thompson. Has anybody heard from Bill Thompson about a response? Let me just check I have not seen any update. But there is an article that I found that was very, very interesting. He says, this is what they reported. I can't have access because I think it was scrubbed and I can't get a link, but let me just show you I can go back to the way back. I'll do that later. But this was a little excerpt that I was able to pull that Bill Thompson said last year at this time frame. We did our job. Idaho prosecutor justifies plea deal. That was July 31, almost a year to the day ago. 2025. Okay? 2025. And they're going to come back and they're going to say, yeah, I screenshotted it. They're going to say, oh, the plea was knowingly and voluntarily. And he denied being threatened or improperly promised anything. Now, there is a video that is very well made, and this creator is awesome. She is on TikTok. And it's no niche, right? She's really good. And one thing I'll say is that this video, just a couple of days ago, let me see if I can pull this up. Let me just check this out. She's amazing. She makes some great videos. Where is it at? And it was this one. Okay, I have to mute it, but I'm just going to show what she's talking about. And this was the very first filing that they made in 1/5/23. That was the very first filing. And back then, Koberger did not mark, has anyone made you any promises or coerced you in the act in this manner? And he didn't write anything in there. And then obviously he didn't check anything in addition to that, or I wish to retain my own attorney, and or giving a continuance. Okay, so that is the form that when this whole thing started. Remember, he was arrested the 30th of December. This was the 5th when he got back into Idaho. And you can definitely see that video. She's pretty cool. She's got some really great videos. But keep in mind, the state is still going to say next. He said under an oath that he was satisfied with his attorneys. I don't know, folks. I don't know. Anne said that it was very difficult to work with them, and that's in court record. He admitted to the factual basis for all 5 charges. Well, if he was coerced, then he had to fill the paper out, and we know what that looks like, right? He challenged evidence was known, reviewed, and not materially exculpatory. Well, if he's saying that his attorney didn't tell him or show him, that's a whole complete other can of worms that this next attorney must look at, investigate, and explain to the court in great detail. Public detail. Unless they start sealing these records. Right? I mean, drop a 1 if you understand what I'm saying. This is going to be a long process, in my humble opinion. Unless at the point where the state cannot argue and they have to maybe exonerate him. I mean, that could also happen too. Or exonerate his name, at least. What do I mean by that? Oh, more fireballs coming at you. What do I mean by that? Well, if we look in the repository, folks, this repository is state of Idaho. And this repository tells us the history of Brian Koberger. And this is what I don't understand. I don't understand this. The FBI said, hey, the murder never crossed state lines. So, I mean, they never charged him officially, per my knowledge, in the repository, but yet they had all these massive hearings and paid people a lot of money. So they have his infraction when he was pulled over and he paid a $10 seatbelt. Right? They knew who he was back then. And now, all of a sudden, today, well, not today, but just the other day, the post-conviction process pops up. Okay? They still have not assigned anyone an attorney, because it would pop up in here, whose name it would be any day now, if somebody does take the case. So they still have inactive. So he's no longer pro se. So this is in limbo right now. And they have assigned him an Ada public defender, not a Latah County, an Ada public defender. This is huge, folks. Another county attorney is going to hand them this. They're going to be handed this case. There is an order appointing a state public defender, but we don't know who it is yet. It'll be labeled here as soon as it changes. Right under active attorneys. But we still don't see his actual murder charges. We still don't see it. But when I look him up, he's in jail. Absolutely, every single day. And twice on Sunday. Okay? All right? But here's the deal. If he is given a public defender at any time, if he's not satisfied or happy, he can hire a private attorney, folks. He can hire a private attorney whenever he wants. But there's a catch-22 to this. In order to hire a private attorney, you need money. And this is why I'm saying this on the record, because there are a lot of people out there trying to deceive good, hardworking, empathetic, people out of their money. There are scams all over the internet, folks. Even in the true crime community, I'll just say it. There are a lot of grifters. A lot of grifters. I mean, even my mom was taken for over $10,000 on the internet. And that really pisses me off. I had to step in and help her with the bank and the police and the investigators, and they did her right only because I pushed hard. And his family may not have any money. They have a house. They probably don't want a mortgage. They have nowhere else to go. Who knows what their financial situation is? Who knows what they get in retirement? Who knows what they get from Social Security? No one really knows. But what I'm saying is that if he needs a private attorney will step up, open a legal trust on behalf of Brian Koberger, and then you can legally, if you wish to, pay and donate money to a legal trust. That is how these things work. It's not some willy-nilly GoFundMe. It's not some willy-nilly PayPal. It's not some willy-nilly whatever it is out there. All right? It's called accountability. It's called legal accountability. You never want to be on the other side of something illegal. Think about it, folks. If there are any people on the internet asking for money in a case like this, 9 out of 10 times is probably a scam. Don't fall for it. Trust your instinct. If anybody has parents that pick up the phone or watch YouTube and feel sorry for people, tell them, educate them, love on them, and say, you don't need to give your money to these people. You need it for yourself. You need it for your grandchildren. You need it for your meds. You need it for your care. You need it for your groceries. People are hurting all over. And I'm just saying that from my heart. People need to be educated. All right? So the state's going to respond, and the state's going to say, nope. Nope, nope, nope. The challenged evidence was known, reviewed, or material exculpatory. Not exculpatory. Well, did he know what it was? Did they test it further? Their job is to make sure they know. Are they afraid to give the results? Would it show that he is 100% factually or innocent? And then they're going to come back and say he can't demonstrate that competent legal advice would have caused him to reject a deal removing the death penalty. You know that that's the state. You know they're going to say that. And then the plea hearing transcript will be the state's strongest evidence because he swore in a courtroom. Statements carry that substantial weight. We understand that. We understand that. Never, ever. This would just be, if this happened to me, I would never take any plea deal. Never. Not me. I would say, prove me guilty if I knew I was innocent. Prove me guilty. You can twist and you can say whatever you want. You can write it down. You can repeat it 50 times. That doesn't make it true. Doesn't make it true. So, everyone is screaming, depose, depose, depose. Absolutely. You know that's going to happen. You know that there was an investigation that they just stopped talking about when they wanted all this to go away, folks. Remember, they were trying to get Turvey to, do whatever, and they wanted him to come in and talk, and they were investigating. I wonder what they were really investigating, because they're going to bring everyone back to the table, and they're going to say, okay, what was promised? They're going to bring back the former Attorney General, Josh Hurwitz. They're going to bring back everyone. Is it going to be like Fauci? I plead the fifth. Like Oliver North? Are they all just going to get away with it and no slap on the wrist? No, oh, you made a boo-boo. What's going to happen? I don't know, but we're just going to have to wait and see. So since PCR is a separate civil proceeding connected to the criminal judgment, counsel may even request records or seek depositions from the attorneys Investigators are experts, just like everyone's been screaming in the chat. I mean, people lie all the time. People lie, guys. But evidence won't. And this is where it gets hot, because there's going to be some disputes. There's going to be some crash outs. They're going to say which defense files must be produced, the scope of the attorney-client waiver, whether testimony or records should be sealed. They're going to go through this all over again. Whether additional forensic testing is permitted. That is a huge one. They're not going to dismiss this without a fight. There's going to be alleged evidence was actually unknown when Koberger pleaded guilty. They're going to have to figure out if he even knew, because the look of his PCR filing that he filled out himself, he's saying he didn't know about it. He didn't know about the hair in Ethan's hand. And it surely isn't his per the FBI. So whose was it? And I have got so many tags. I have got so many. Dylan's hair was braided allegedly. Bethany had a hoodie on all day. She covered her hair. Emily had her hair covered too. I mean, let's go on a dig real quick, right? I think we can probably figure this out in like 5 minutes. Idaho 4. Let's go to Connor real quick. Connor has Bethany's first interview, and let's go to his page and let's just take a real quick 30-second check and see what Bethany was wearing. I think she was in that hoodie, wasn't she? Yep, here she is with Blaker. And let's just take a look at this real quick. This is all on Connor's channel. You can go, and I think by now everybody knows who Connor is, but I will definitely share the link. All right, let's go and debunk some of these rumors out there, because I can't stand that. Yes. Thank you, Connor. Thank you. There is the link for everyone to check out Bethany's body cam interview, or interview, not body cam. All right, and let's just pop this up on the screen and you can see it. Here we go. And this was Bethany, her interview. And there she is in a hoodie, yellow hoodie. Where did she get this from? Because we know that she walked out of her house with shoes on, mind you. She had shoes on. And she didn't have a jacket, a sweater, or anything. And it was about 28 degrees that morning. She had the yellow hoodie. And I always said from day one when I saw him walk, I think that is Hunter Johnson's hoodie. I've always said that. With the vape, smoking a vape, walking around outside, I have always said this. Walking around the residence, looking around and jumping in a car, I've always said, allegedly, I thought that this was Hunter's hoodie, because they did say that they borrowed clothes from their friends. Okay? I mean, I know those yellow hoodies were sold everywhere on the U of I campus, but their friends gave them these clothes to wear. Now, I want to just say this. I just want to say this. Throughout this whole interview, she has on a hoodie. She has on the hoodie. All right. So that's a little suspicious. All right. So let's go to the other one. Dylan had braids. I don't remember seeing, let's go to the law and crime. I don't remember seeing Dylan have braids. I don't even, because they blocked her out so much in this body cam. I don't even think there was one shot of her not. Now, Bethany's over there and she is in the blanket. Is her head covered? Is her head covered, or can we not see that either? I don't think we even get a shot of Dylan's head. Do we? I think everything is redacted. Pretty much. All their hair are redacted. I think even from the arrival. I think all their hair is pretty redacted. Even Emily's. Even Josie's. And something that I'm noticing, just on a side note here, in the Nolan Wells case, I've noticed they're starting to blur every single old enough individual over 18. I kind of wonder what that's all about now that they've got Ben Crump in there, but that's my humble opinion. Okay, so we can't verify that Dylan that day had any braids, but let's go back to Connor's channel. And I know that Connor, I think he's got Dylan in the second interview. And let's just take a peek at that one. And nope, can't see her either. Can't see her hair. Does not look braided to me. Doesn't look braided at all. I mean, through process of elimination, we can probably figure it out, right? Josie, I don't think we see a interview. So Dylan does not have braids that day. She did have 2 braids. Now, remember, the girl who everyone thought, and this is a stream like a long time ago, folks, and I think I've got it up on my stream. That wasn't Dylan. That was not Dylan. And I have asked everywhere on my TikTok, if you guys, I didn't put it here on YouTube. I have asked, let me pull it up and see if it'll let me have it. Let me see. Let me see if I can refresh this. All right. Where are you at? Where are you at? Yeah, we went through this a while back. We went through this. And here's what happened. There was a female officer and a male officer walking somebody down Taylor. And either they were walking to an unmarked car, because that's what it looked like they were doing. And it was not Dylan. The officer was about 6'3", and that was definitely not Dylan. That individual walking with them was much shorter, like about 5, I'd say about 3, 5'4". But I did put this up on my, let me see, hold on. Let me see if I can just see this. I put this up on my stories. I don't know if you can see your stories after they're loaded. But in order for me to show you this, I got to go over to Kaylee's. Hold on. I mean, Kaylee left us some really good clues, y'all. A lot of good clues. All right. So she did have 2 braids. I don't think that was her that day. We went and we dug hard. I remember that one. If it was braided, it wasn't braided after. It was down on BCF and later it was braided. Okay, I don't know if we're going to be able to confirm that one, but this is the video I'm talking about. I put this up on my stories the other day. I can't play the music because it'll ding me, but all right. Kaylee's down on the bottom. This is Maddie, Xana, Bethany, and Dylan's not in this, but I said, who is this girl right here all the way to your left of the screen with the sunglasses on her head? Okay. And I thought this was the braided hair girl. Officer braided, no report. I thought this was the girl. And this is, in fact, at 1122 King Road. This is inside there. And this was October 13, 2022. All right. I believe, allegedly, I have not confirmed this yet. I believe this is Claire Cirillo. And if you guys know who that is, you will understand why I was looking for her specifically. And I don't remember, let me look on Connor and see if he actually has an interview from her yet, because I haven't seen anything for her. I know what ISP it is, but I've not seen a video of an interview with Claire. Nope, I haven't seen it. Yeah, she looks about 5'3", 5'5", I would say. I don't see it yet. All right. That's Fitzgerald with the light hair. You think that that's Fitzgerald? Huh. Let me go and take a peek. Let me go to Insta. I'm telling you, these people with doppelgangers and lookalikes and Claire, where you at? All right, here you go. Claire, Claire, Claire. Let's see if that is Claire. All right. Oh, that might be. No, she's got too dark a hair. Way too dark a hair. I don't know. Amy, Bethany. Well, this was just taken March 16th, and Bethany's hanging out with these girls. So I don't think it's Jenna, but this is Claire right here with the glasses in the Irish Ewer beer right here in the green. Second one from the left. And there's Bethany hanging out. I don't know. I'm not sure. Let's look and see. 2022. Her hair was dark back then. It was really dark. Right? I don't think that's her though. Let's see 2022. Was it really super light? This is August. This is October. Maybe it was. Dyed? No, her face looks a little bit too angular. Oh, what do we have here? Who is that? Who is that? That's a Moscow PD, guys. Who are these officers? Is that Rosendahl on the left? Why is there like, looks like they're superimposed or something. Who is that? You think it's Jenna? Let me see. Let's see if we can find something. No, Claire had much darker hair there. See how dark her hair is? Let me see. Maybe because she dyed it. Maybe because it was dyed. Let's see. Huh. It could have been her back then if her hair was dyed, because here she is on the end. I wonder when this picture was. November 17th, 2022. Is that what Ethan wore that night? Is that what Ethan wore that night, or was this Halloween? No, this wasn't Halloween, because him and Xana, wait a minute. This had to have been that party. The sports themed party. Oh, wow. Ask Grok to clear. Yeah, let me go back and clear that up. Let me see what Grok can do for me. Hold on. Can you clear this picture up? And no, I thought Ethan and Xana were the guys from Despicable Me. Blurred or moved in the photo. Yeah, I'm going to see if Grok can enhance it real quick for us. You were the most beautiful people in the soul. Yada, 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 yada. Thanks for praying. Did you live with them? That was my question. Did she live with them? Is she the person walking down the street in braids? Did she live with them, folks? I was wondering. That would make sense. That would make huge sense. Okay, so this was the video that she also put up there. So maybe this is Claire. Maybe this is Claire because clearly Claire is the only one that is in this picture besides everyone else that we know. That must be Claire. So it's got to be property of Claire. I wonder if that is Claire. It's got to be. Why would she put that up there? So my source may be right. She said she believed allegedly it was Claire. Let me see what Grok says about this photo. I don't know. I thought Ethan and Xana wore matching jerseys. That's what I was under the impression, but we don't know because nobody has confirmed. So, anybody know of the pictures that were taken that night at the party? Grok is still rendering that photo that I asked for the police. If you search photo forensics on Google, yeah. All right, hold on. How old the file is. Halloween, it says Wildcats, the Disney movie basketball team. Yeah. So that was Halloween, but she put the picture up there the 17th of November, maybe as just as a memory. That could be Claire. I'm thinking it might be. I'm thinking it might be because she knows Bethany very well. Didn't they say that Claire was going to move in? And that's Zach, her. Okay, I'll download that, Sarah. I'll try it. I think she did. I think she did say that Claire was going to move in. I also thought that's who they were going to go to Europe with, but she went anyways. She went with her friends. All right. So, I don't know how we can verify that. Let me see what Grok gives me. This is, oh, that's a pretty good picture. Let me show you what Grok gave me. I cannot read the badge. Let me see if I can zoom in real quick and I'll show you this picture. And here we go. Here's what Grok gave me for the picture of the cops. Let me see if I can zoom in and see if that is... Who is that? Let me see if I can ask Grok. What does the name badge on the police say? Yeah. There was a interview. They said someone was going to... Oh, that's right. You're right, Senior. It was, yeah, it was the Steelers jersey because he had said something about the Seahawks fan. You're right. Let me see. Let me put this in Canva and see if I can zoom in. The one on the body in the middle reads Lee. Let me see if I can see this in Canva, if I can put this in here. So I can just zoom in and see what this guy's badge says. Oh, that's so annoying. Hold on. Let's zoom in and see. Yeah, it does say... Can't read it, though. Huh. It's too blurry. I asked it to see if it can render it, and it said no. It says Lee. I don't think that's accurate, though. Let me just take a picture. I'll show you what I see. The one with the radio and the mic says Lee. I don't think so. Is there somebody with the badge that says something? Maybe you guys can zoom in on this picture. Phoenix, a site you just uploaded screenshot. Look at the details. No downloading. Yeah, that's Claire. I thought so. It has details of all versions that will show you filters and operating systems. Okay, I'll look at it. There's another cop over to the left. Absolutely, that's who I was trying to see who that was. Let me go on. It's got to be. Let me go Moscow Police Department. And let me see. I usually go to their annual. Let me see if I can find. Who is this? Claire's with Gideon Amer. That is, yeah. Yep, you're right. That's the guy on the interview I showed you. Is that Morris? Is that Officer Morris? I think it is. Okay, so there's Officer Morris was promoted to corporal. Okay, yeah, and he does safety talks. I remember seeing him. That's Morris. So let me show you a picture of Morris that I have on file, just so you guys know who I'm talking about. That's Morris. All right, hold on. He's the one. He is part of the regional SWAT and a field training officer, an FTO. That is Morris. He's the guy right there. All right. And then the other guy, I think, that's not Rosinski because this guy's a little heavier. Let me see who this guy is. Let's just see. Who is this guy that Claire knows? Or they just jumped? They might have just jumped in a picture with him while they were out at a game or something. But that is Morris. Morris definitely is a FTO out there at the campus. So yeah, they would be hanging out. I mean, you go to a football game, take pictures. No biggie. All right. And what was the last one that we were going to look? Rosinski. The other one is Rosinski, all the way over here on the left. Those aren't real cops. They're U of I puppets. I need Phoenix original screenshot. Original screenshot, you can get it right from Claire. Go to Claire's page over on Instagram, and it is right in one of these. Hold on. Which one was it? It wasn't 21. Where is it? It's one where they're at the game. Oh, right here with the mayor. That's Gideon Amer. And I'll remove the banner and you can see his name right at the bottom, right here. It goes right to his website, his LinkedIn. All right. I believe that's the Gideon that Dylan was most likely hanging out with. All right. I need the original file. The original file is over on Instagram, Sarah. And this is the one with the game day. So they're right there at the end. All right. I can go ahead and drop the link and then you can have a shortcut. There you go. All right. So that debunks that one. And give me 1 second, guys. Okay, so what was the other thing that we were gonna, Sarah, will you work on that? Let me get back to the PCR and let's finish this up, and then I've got some stuff for you guys. So when you start thinking about the PCR, now that we've gone down that rabbit hole, there's gonna be an evidentiary hearing. So when the hearing is set, they're gonna dispute factual. That's the thing that they have to do. They've got to get together Koberger presents evidence creating a genuine dispute over material fact. The court may conduct an evidentiary hearing based on witnesses, could include Koberger, his parents, defense investigators, forensic reports, experts, and Taylor, other former defense attorneys. Because remember, Koberger did have the attorney in Pennsylvania, and he may have been telling him from the beginning, I'm innocent. And that's why his attorney, his first one in Pennsylvania, said, I can't wait till they exonerate him. Right? And so obviously anybody that's involved with the alleged promises or pressure, they are going to be obviously spoken to and have some skin in the game. So Judge Hippler, not a jury at this point, would decide witnesses' credibility and whether Koberger proved his claims in the PCR were by preponderance of the evidence. What does that big word mean? All right. What does that mean? Who knows? Preponderance. So Hippler's going to say, okay, guys, it basically means that the evidence means that the claim is more likely true than not. And it only requires the probability greater than 50%. That's the standard of proof in most civil lawsuits. Remember, this is a civil lawsuit. Brian Koberger is saying that the state of Idaho, it's not criminal, it's civil, has personal injury or contract disputes, or, obviously he wants to say, I'm taking back my guilty plea and I'm not guilty. All right. And he only has to claim 50%. That's usually that's the standard in civil cases. But in evidence, it could be 75%. So I don't know 100% for Idaho, or it can be even beyond a reasonable doubt, which is like 95 to 93 that's used in criminal cases. So there's a lot of dispute that's going to happen, a lot of crash outs that are probably going to take place during that process. And of course, the G's, they're going to say, well, we weren't involved and they didn't let us know anything. That's what they're going to say once again. We already know that, allegedly. So Koberger has to prove his lawyers performed below objectively reasonable professional standard. And there is a reasonable probability that without those failures, he would have rejected the plea bargain and insisted on going to trial. So simply identifying the evidence, the questionable evidence, or a defense mistake is not enough. He has to connect that problem directly to the decision in pleading guilty. What did they promise him? That's what I want to know. What did they promise him? What threats did they make? Who's going to step up and say, yeah, they actually did that? They actually told him X, Y, and Z, and then see you later. You're in jail. Good luck. We don't want to hear it anymore. How would they know? What proof do you think he's going to bring to the table? I hope he's got a lot of proof. I hope he's got some proof, maybe a recording. I don't know. Maybe something in writing. Who knows? But I hope he's got enough proof for them to say, hey, you can withdraw this guilty plea. I hope that they have enough information, because if Judge Hippler grants relief, Koberger wins. And the remedy to this would be the murder and the burglary convictions are vacated. That means, okay, we're going to take it back. Guilty pleas, no more. We're going to rip it up and throw it, and it doesn't matter anymore. And then not guilty position is now restored. What happens after that? Then the original prosecution resumes. That's the normal procedures. Now then motions and trial preparation, jury selection, it doesn't equal an immediate acquittal or release. It just puts you back a reset. It puts the case back into pretrial posture. So they have to have pretrial hearings, discovery, all this stuff. And the state could argue that they're no longer bound by the plea agreement. The state could come in and say, well, now that he wants to remove it, we're no longer bound by that plea agreement. And that includes the promise not to seek the death penalty. And Cobra's like, okay, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Let's undo this agreement. Let's undo it. And let's get right back to trial. Good luck in finding a jury that's going to be seated for this one. This is like nothing I've ever seen before. Now, whether or how the death penalty could be reinstated is up to the prosecution, up to the state. And it would likely produce major, and I'm just saying this in my opinion, constitutional, contractual, and procedural litigation. It should not be described as it's automatically restored. This case will set precedents for something. I don't know what, but it will set the tone for how other cases will be this way. How many other cases will follow suit now that you have Hunter v. United States and a couple of other under the belt? How many other PCRs will be filed now? Think about the detrimental setback to the justice system. I'm just saying this from the justice system side. I'm not saying from Koberger. I'm just saying in general, because if relief is denied, if Judge Hippler says, no, I've seen everything already, and it's not good enough, he can deny it. And then the appeal would be challenged in the Supreme Court of Idaho. It wouldn't automatically reopen every issue waived in the original plea agreement. It's not what's going to happen. So here's the biggest battleground that I can see, in my opinion. Was there evidence favorable to Koberger? Drop a yes or a no. Drop a yes or a no. And let me see if Sarah got anything back. Any luck, Sarah? Right. It's not right. I don't know. You've got a great point. You've got a great point. And honestly, this is a legal bridge his new counsel must build. It's nothing he can do. His new counsel has to build it. And don't know what that's going to look like. Have no idea yet. But let me show you a video. Remember I said I was going to break the algorithm yesterday? I figured it out. Do I have to just act stupid? Or do I have to mix entertainment with fun, quirky, and yada, yada, yada? What do I got to do to break this algorithm? Well, I broke it yesterday. And you'll see this video that I made. And it was just what I said clearly the other day on the live. So if you look at my views lately, they have been so far down, right? I'm not doing anything different. The algorithm changed. And 700 views, 1542. You know, I used to get millions of views. Now this one broke the internet. It broke the algorithm. All you have to do is break it once and then you'll be right back on track. Watch this. I figured it out, y'all. I figured it all out. And let me show you. So this cop right here arrives on the scene, and guess what? He's only there for 17 minutes and he starts asking questions to Dylan. But get this. Listen to what the cop says. Don't listen to what Dylan says. Listen to what the cop is saying. So let me get this right. This cop shows up. He's been there for 17 minutes. It shows his whole body cam going through the house, looking OF when he stands in Xana's room. And then he comes down and he starts talking to Dylan, who's giving a statement. But the cop is the one leading the narrative. How did he know that Ethan was staying there? He said the guy who lives here, or the guy who's just visiting, staying here. How did he know that in 17 minutes? Unless he was clued in before. And when was that? When did all that take place? You can't make this stuff up. The cops had to have known everyone in this house prior to them arriving. How did he know that Ethan just visited there? The guy that lives there or the guy who just stays there all the time? How did he even know this? 17 minutes into this. Drop your comments and your thoughts. You know the drill. Be well. All right. So my thought process after I thought about it is, you see the whole body camera that we've been given from Moscow Police Department. And you can go right over to Connor's channel once again, and you can go see Noon's whole body camera. Okay. So instead of going to Law and Crime, just go to Connor's, and let me just grab Connor. You can go and watch his whole body camera that has been released to the public. All right. So when you go and click on his body camera, it tells you the length of footage for his arrival there. And the length of his footage arrival from the time he arrives, and someone else pointed this out too. There's time missing, right? Someone else pointed this out. Now, it's 11:58 when he got the call. All right? And at the end of his body camera, he was there for almost a whole hour, okay? Because then they send him back to the station to go file all the affidavits and then the search warrants and yada, 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 right? So it's almost a whole hour. And if you don't know where that one is, here it is. But at no time during this whole body camera, see, the one by Law and Crime and everyone else has been edited and cut. This is uncut. I don't know how much is redacted, just a little bit out of this, but this is him getting in the car, getting out of the car, walking through the house, and then all the way up into 17 minutes, he starts talking to Dylan. Well, a little bit earlier than that, when he gets his little magic thing out, right? So I went back and I looked at this and I'm thinking 9 minutes, 10 minutes. He doesn't talk to anyone else. He doesn't talk to anyone else, okay? He goes right for his paperwork, talks to the EMS, yes, sits JD over there with the other group, and then starts talking to Dylan. Now, when you watch this, that's only into almost 13 minutes, okay? So then he starts asking her questions. We've seen this before over and over again, but do me a favor. Clear your head of everything you remember. Clear your head, and there's an old saying, hindsight is 20/20. I want you to clear your head, like I said, for just 1 second, and let's watch this in a new frame of reference. And I want you to point out every time you see something that doesn't make sense or you're like, oh my God, an aha moment, I want you to type it in the chat or just drop a 1, okay? I'm going to point a few things out before we go tonight. And just listen. Listen, process with a different thought process tonight.
Okay. And is this your address?
Yeah. Okay. All the EMT are present. All the EMT are present. Their truck is on Taylor because they can't bring that truck through there. I even called to find out why they didn't bring the truck in there, folks. Some law about making a U-turn or turn around, and that turnaround in Queen Road is too small, and then the angles of the truck to even go there, and the fire truck and all this other stuff. So they park everything out on Taylor Avenue. All right? That was confirmed. That was confirmed. So at 1 in the morning or 2 in the morning, it is possible that they cut out the fire and the people arriving. Now, he's asked her, and is this your address? Let's listen.
What's that address?
1122 King Road.
Is your driver's license right?
Yes.
You have your driver's license? You mean to tell me, God damn it, Excuse my language. You mean to tell me she has her driver's license? She exited the house in such a hurry that she took her wallet, her driver's license? What? Okay. And Bethany does have shoes on across the way. When did Dylan have time to go back in and get her driver's license? Anyone? Has anybody caught this before? And I've got people commenting on my post. There's nothing there. She has her license and no shoes.
Okay. How much have you seen in there?
How much have you seen in there? What a question. But listen to her answer. How much have you seen in there?
No, I don't really know.
No, I don't really know. No? Why is she saying no? How much have you seen in there?
I just saw my friend
I just saw my friend, blank.
when I called because we were so scared. We're like, can you please come help us? And that's all I saw.
She saw it and she called her friend, can you please come help us?
Told us not to go in. That man right there.
That man right there. What man is she pointing to? Gunderson? Oh, is she pointing to Hunter Johnson? Yes, she's pointing to Hunter. What man came over to help you?
That helped show you around.
They did go in there.
And that's when he told us he needed to call the cops.
When... Do you mind just waiting over there for me, please? Okay.
So the EMS never went in to the house. Never saw the bodies. Nothing.
When... No, I overheard you talking about last night.
Yeah.
Okay.
I heard you talking about last night.
You know...
At no time did he even say Ethan. At no time has anybody said anything about Ethan's name on his body cam.
The more we know right now, the better. We can start this process. Yeah. Somebody will probably be revisiting this interview with you very soon. Again, okay? So just, you're probably going to have to retell the story quite a bit.
Okay. First he says, interview. We're going to do this interview. And then he says, you're probably going to have to retell the story. Who says you're going to have to retell the story? Like, I know officers that say you have to retell the incident. You have to retell what you saw. You have to retell in your own words. The story? I mean, those are the words he used. Tell your story. Your side of the story? What? Why would a cop say, tell your side of the story? It just seemed odd to me when he said this. Tell your side to the story. It's a common investigative tactic to encourage you to speak. On the surface, it sounds cooperative, as if they want you to understand what happened and resolve the matter. But in practice, it's a way to gather more information that could be used in investigation or prosecution. Wow, to build a case to avoid arrest in rare cases. If they have enough evidence, they may hope you'll confess or admit something that gives them probable cause to arrest. Manipulation or pressure. Oh, that's very interesting.
All right. What do you remember seeing? What started?
I remember I was in my room and I was trying to go to bed and I heard Kaylee, who ex-girlfriend, who else has a dog in her.
Real fast. Which one is your room?
Kaylee.
Which one is your room?
Oh,
what room are you in?
Redacted.
You were in that room?
My room, not.
You were in that room. You were in that room. She pointed to the downstairs spare bedroom. And I would have never, ever thought this unless I read it in Broken Plea. And I watched Chris Whitcomb's interview. And he said that room is going to be very, very important. And I kept thinking, why would he say it was going to be so important? You were in that room, my room.
Xana's room. My room.
Not Xana's room, my room.
Your room is this one right?
Your room is this one right here. Now, wait a minute. They're both pointing to the spare room. Is that correct? And I'm just asking you to think about this in a different frame of mind tonight. Now that we've seen everything, hindsight is 2020. He asked her, and your room is this one. She didn't point around the back of the house. She pointed right down there.
Next to stairs. That one.
Look, she's pointing right down there. She's not pointing to the back of the house, guys. She's pointing to the spare room. And they did redact all the rooms. Yes, they did, Tammy. Yes, they did.
Xana's room.
Second floor room.
Second floor.
She was saying Xana's room is on the second floor.
Okay.
All I heard was I heard go upstairs. Like, okay, I'm gonna go to sleep now.
Go upstairs. I'm going to go to sleep now.
She's going upstairs.
Now, if in fact we just saw her point to the bottom floor where the spare bedroom is, and the officer pointed and confirmed, okay? I think I went too far back. Dang it. All right, hold on. I think we all saw him point over
Real
there.
fast. Which one is your room?
Kaylee.
Which one is your room?
Oh,
What room are you in?
Redacted. She confirms that Xana's on the second floor, but she points to the bottom right side. What is she screaming at me?
You were in that room?
My room, not Xana's room. My
I was in my room down there, down on the bottom
And
floor.
your room is this one?
Okay. All right. No, she's not telling him Bethany's room. She wasn't. She was saying the other room. Bethany's has all Bethany's stuff in it, which is really odd. Very, very odd. Okay. And I've always wondered why they were playing musical rooms.
Right here.
next to stairs. That one. Xana's room.
Okay. She pointed way over there.
Second floor room.
Second.
Okay.
All I heard was I heard go upstairs. Like, okay, I'm gonna go to sleep now.
Okay. So this is where it gets very interesting.
She's going upstairs. Also,
Heard who? There's
Kaylee and the dog Murphy.
Kaylee went upstairs. So if she is literally downstairs in the room she just pointed at, she heard Kaylee go up the main stairs. Are y'all with me? Drop a 1. If y'all are with me, drop a 1.
and upstairs to the very top.
Yeah, that's
And Kaylee's room is upstairs to the very top.
where her room is.
Yeah, that's where her room is.
Okay.
She just described in a nutshell, I'm on the bottom, Xana's on the second floor, and Kaylee's all the way to the top. So they're all on that side of the house.
And then all of a sudden I heard her walking up. I heard her scream.
Kaylee walked up and she heard her scream. So the killers were already in the house? Is that why? The vandal alert came out at 12:15? What? I don't think the vandal alert came out that early. I have a screenshot. It was like 1 something.
And she ran upstairs because she saw someone.
So Kaylee was going upstairs and Kaylee saw someone on the 2nd floor. That would probably be why Kaylee's blood is on the 2nd floor, folks. It's starting to make sense.
That's what I'm pretty sure she said. Someone's here, and she screamed and just ran downstairs.
She ran downstairs to where? To the front door. And that's probably why you see the bracelet or the beads in the main doorway.
And I called for her name, but I jumped up and locked my door.
She jumped up and locked her door because remember, the room downstairs, which we think is the spare bedroom, actually the window was locked. Bethany's side of the house window was not locked.
So scared. And I heard someone in the bathroom, and I heard her crying, and I heard
So
some
the
and I kept
killers
calling
were
her name,
on the
but she
2nd floor when Kaylee goes up the stairs. Is everybody with me? Did I lose? Yeah. Okay. All right.
wasn't answering. And then I opened the door for a second, and I saw this guy, and he was not insanely tall, but he was wearing all black and like this.
Now, Dylan never says where she saw him, but this makes sense. If she opened her door on the bottom floor, if he attacked Kaylee at the door, the main door.
Mask, which is covering his forehead and his mouth. And I locked the door and I called, and I didn't know what to do.
I called Bethany.
This is at 4
a.m. Yes. Okay. And so then I just ran down.
You left here?
Yeah, I left my room down to.
Now, she's saying it was 4 a.m. I don't know if I believe that time. Might have been more like 3 a.m. because that's the last we hear from Kaylee's phone. No activity after calling JD.
She's that one with the white blinds at the very bottom.
And Bethany is at the bottom, right there with the white blinds. And so let me just take a peek at what that room looked like again that she's pointing to. That he walks up when he first arrives. All right, Noons, where you at? Here we go. He's walking up. It looks like there's a burgundy sheet, a burgundy pink sheet on the window. Interesting. And guess what was asked for by Ann Taylor? Let me just pull that up. I know it was with the Vans shoes. There was a curtain or a sheet or something that was asked. Hold on a second. Let me just see if that's it. Hold on. The jacket. They got the jacket. That was the defense that asked for it. But there was something else that they took or they wanted in evidence. I think it was a sheet. The sheet on the window. Let me just see. I just remembered that. Yeah. Hold on. Let me pull this up. There was a sheet that was requested. A sheet or a curtain. Someone's got to know it. Hold on. I don't think I used a keyword. How did she phrase that again? The defense counsel asked for pillows, sheet, mattresses, bed frames, nightstand, and the items were wrapped and transported. That was the first one. And then the defense asked for a handwritten note from Dylan, pink and white blanket, Pink and white cloth, possible to be used as a curtain. Holy freaking moly. Wow. Just thinking about it in a different light. Pink and white cloth, possibly used as a curtain or decoration. Wow. Confirmed. Yeah. All right. So that confirms where we're at. And let me see if I can get us back to here. All right. Here we go.
My room, not Xana's room. My room.
And your room is
All right. She already pointed it out. That was her room. And that Ann Taylor wanted that freaking curtain.
Xana.
All right. We know all that. Let's see. All right. That would make sense why she shut her door and locked it, because remember the video that I made? Oh my God, it makes sense to me now. Holy moly. You know, everybody shit on me about this video. Everyone shit on me. I got nasty remarks. There's nothing there. Just shut up. And now I know why. Holy moly. Kaylee was attacked at the door, guys. She had to have been. She had to have been. Where is the video that I showed you? Where is it? I'm looking through my repository real quick. Boy, oh boy. Man, I'll tell you. How many times have I been spot freaking on? The underwear, the blood at the door, the sheet. I mean, shit. That's what investigating does. We're not speculating. We're taking a deep dive and looking at the things that make sense and eliminating the things that don't. Shit. Where in the world is that video? Oh, that makes sense. Where is my video? Right at the front door when they all step around it. They all are just like stepping around the front door. Something happened at the front door. I'll find it, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Drop a 1 if you've seen that video. Drop a 1. This is the transcript that I did for the front door, but that is not the one I wanted. All right, let me just take a peek at another one. Ramslin, just like my video. What? Turvey follows me too. Where is the video? Oh, crap. It's somewhere in here. I'll repost it when I find it. Right at the front door. Where are you? I'm going to find you. It's somewhere. Dang it. I wish I had it marked. There's the jacket. That makes sense that it was in that room. Bundled up. That's something else. Where are you? All right, I'll find it and repost it, but you guys know what I'm talking about, hopefully. Let's see. All right, we'll have to find it later because it is MIA. All right, let's go. I'm on the wrong one. Here we go.
Yes.
Do you have any contact information for her parents?
No.
It's okay. Well,
Okay.
we can get that eventually.
Her dad's name.
And then Ethan. E-T-H-A-N.
And Chapin, C-H-A-P-I-N.
Hey, real fast. Oh, she's saying this morning around 4. There's a guy, black mask, was in there. She didn't recognize him. She heard girls screaming upstairs. She got scared, locked herself in the room. And then the screaming all stopped.
And that makes sense. Oh my God. Now that makes sense, y'all. I got to go over to Connor once again. Shout out to Connor for building this repository because this has been a resource to go and review. I'm going to tell you guys, this makes so much sense when you see Officer Morris.
Should be fine. Cool. I already gave Casey a heads up. Perfect.
And I think it's like at 5:02. Let me go back. I got the wrong one. I think it's like 5:20. I've got that marked down right in front of me. 5:20. Was it? Oh, I don't want to get you guys dizzy here. 5:20. Is it House? No, Rosinski. 5:20. When they arrive, that's part 2. No, that's even later. I need, is it Warner? Who's 5:20? Is it Rosinski? At 5? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. 5:20.
Over down my vest.
Time frame.
Nope.
Right, based off what?
Bear with me. You know, on a live, anything can happen. 5:20. Who was at 5:20? That's not Morris. Oh my God. Whose was it at 5:20, guys? 5:20. Was it this one? No, I just missed it. Here it is. It's this one. Nope. Hang it. Let me look at the chat. Do you guys know it? I'll see if you can find it. Okay, go find it because it's at 5:20 when they arrive. I'm trying to remember whose body cam it was. Warner? I think that was too early in the day. Yeah, that's too early. 5:20. It's not Gunderson. That's too late in the day. Snyder? Was it Snyder? No, because he was manning the house when they come and they walk through, and they give him an overview of what happened. Captain Lanier is standing outside. Hold on. It's not House. What's up, bro? That's too early. That's 21. That's too late. Whose body cam is it? It was House? Was it House? At 5:20. Okay, let me go back to House. Hold on. And where are you at? No, that's a different one. Oh, it's a different one. That's a different one. Was it Corbin? Was it Warner? Oh, you guys. I ain't giving up. I'm just going to find it. Warner. Here it is. Was it this one?
Probably try to even.
I won't write anything down. Oh, I put a new line for each time somebody went in and then marked them.
That was too early. So he was relieved. So it has to be part 2, Warner. Nope, it's not. Shoot. Who is there at 5:20? Was it Warner? That's when he first leaves and gets on site. So that's not it. Part 3. Is it part 3?
Residents here saying
it's not part 3 either. Shoot. Whose is it? When Captain Lanier is outside and they all arrive and they mention the governor. The governor's treating this as a homicide. Was it Rosinski?
So there's actually just another.
What's taking so long?
Sure.
Okay, so it has to be Rosinski, but it has to be another return to scene. Is this it? Nope, too early in the day. Where is it? It's at 5:20. Morris? No. Morris part 1. Remember he said he got them mixed up or backwards? It's when... Shoot.
Yeah. I keep changing my mind on what I want.
These are the guys leaving.
Aaron, is that your car?
So I have car 3 and car 5 got left. Yeah, I think all we're out of here.
Yeah.
I'll mark you off.
But I've seen this before.
Where are you? Does anybody more seen security? Rosinski, not house. Barrett? Oh my God, it was 5:20. Where is it? Somebody summon Connor. 5:20. Who was it? 5:20. Smith? No, that was way too early. I've got the schedule of when these cops were there. Where is my schedule? Warner Part 1? No, he was there really early. Where did it go? Did it just get lost? Noons? It can't be Noons. Noons go... Did he go back? I don't think he went back because they sent him to the station to go do the warrants and the search warrant to get into the house because they couldn't do anything until that. So whose camera was it when Captain Lanier is outside? This only goes to 4:20. They haven't arrived yet.
So he's ready to. I could think of a colder day. Yeah. In Belleville.
Something's missing. Warner returned to the scene. Morris Part 1. I remember he said he had them backwards. Morris Part 1, Part 2. Here it is. He had them backwards. I believe he said one time. The other is for sure down. So it's 5:20. Let me go to 5:20. Here they come. This is when they're talking and they basically say the governor's treating this as a homicide. All right, come on, guys. Get the show on the road. I think it's 5:26. I've got 2 times. Okay, Jennings leaves.
Bring him out.
Brent leaves. What were they doing in there before the investigator walks in?
Jake and Gideon.
Hey, Gideon, Jake.
Okay, so if you just joined us, somebody asked me what was going on. So Ann Taylor asked for in supplemental 140, that's the sequence number for Moscow Police Department, Dustin Blaker. Blaker's at the door right now. And Ann, on February 2nd of 2023, she was asking for some items, and one of the items is the pink and white cloth possible used in a curtain or decoration. And if you remember, I just showed you where Dylan is pointing when he asked, "What room is yours?" And she says this.
And your room is this one right here.
My room is right there. They are pointing to the pink and the curtain that is in the window that Anne wanted to get in custody. And also Anne asked for Vans, red and white shoes, black and white Converse shoes, black and white Vans, pink and white blanket with the red hearts, a handwritten note. Okay. So that's where we're at. And listen to the investigators explain what happened.
I'm not going in yet.
Okay.
You think we're gonna be here a while?
You want a quick walkthrough real quick? On video?
Yeah, let me throw my booties on real quick before I step in the house. And then,
We got, so nothing, no people down here up the stairs.
They redacted. Nothing down here, people upstairs.
That's the only thing else on this middle floor, people wise, and then the very top of the stairs, up to the
So right behind him is Gideon Roberts. You have Detective Gilbertson with the coffee. No pun intended.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
As soon as he gets a video of that on the outside, without breaking our equipment, I'll have you start. It sounds like it's a partial print. Off to there's a rock over there. When I get up there, I'll be able to point it out to you a little bit better.
Okay.
Maybe you can get a cast off there. I'm not sure. All right.
You're Jade Schwecky. Yep.
Oh yeah, Schwecky.
Down here.
Oh, nice.
Yes, I am.
Yep. Some booties.
There you go.
you're Gideon.
I am, yes.
There's Gideon Roberts. That is Gideon Roberts.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Yeah. We couldn't find any in our kit. I had yet to go through our rigs. I don't even know what we got.
You could walk me out and change the inventory or shit for it.
Yeah.
Really go to work with you.
Yeah. So this documentation, I think you do.
So you guys running actual video or just cameras?
You do both. You do both.
That, like homeowner and everything now. You guys just said the way what they got to do.
All right. So Talbot, Jake, and Gideon.
Oh, I need a couple pairs. You got babies?
What size
Fits everybody, I think. And I don't think you need to back in there, Brad.
No, you're good, man.
Yeah, yours too. And realistically, now that we're starting this, we can start cutting people loose. I think we only need one more body here.
Shane and Mitch are on back door right now.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it. Or Mitch is.
Thanks, down there.
Shane.
So work with Roger. I think what we talked about with them is having one officer present only. That's already good. You guys have been here long enough.
Is switching out here, or are you going to cut out? Did he go home already?
Tyson said he could go home, but he's sitting at the pee. He says he doesn't want to go home until I go home. So I don't know if that means.
Dude, you're cool. Yeah. He's got to work tomorrow. You don't, so probably would have keeping you unless Tyson needs you to work tomorrow.
I'm just here to help with that nest collection. You guys need it? Okay.
Well, that's what we're here for.
Yeah, dude. I think as long as Shane's good with it, you can get out of here. Try to visit.
Yeah, because he's going to take all the evidence back. We'll get it booked. That's why me and him are here. So, Intel will be taking over. So
You guys both going in?
Yes.
Got 5, 8, 5, 7.
17.8.
Yeah, you're good, Corbin.
Hey.
Reach out to those guys. Just get a number.
Yeah. There. I got that. I got it.
So this is one.
So here's where he starts to explain it.
They hit it. Yes, just really hit it. Bathroom here, too. This one's got like a wolf door. Fair enough. So that's currently where they're.
That's apparently where they were hiding. Now, if that was Dylan's room, okay, then she went over to Bethany's room. So then they were in Bethany's room?
That makes sense because your dog, the other direction.
The dog, the other direction. Now there is more. Let me get the other one where the guy walks in. He doesn't go back in, but these guys walk in. Hold on a minute. Here at this door, and they had one next door down. Hold on a second. Okay, hold on.
Is a tomato plant?
What's outside?
It was that apartment complex, just like the single stories, single level, and they had a victim here right at his door, and they had one next door down because they were both neighbors. So the little guy was the shooter, and he was dead in his doorway too. But these things worked awesome out there. Just lit them up. So.
Where is it where he comes in? Okay, hold on. Here it is. So it's at 5:02.
Yes, sir.
So he came in, cleared this out. This is where the two took refuge.
Okay.
This is where the two took refuge. Why are they pointing to the first room?
Or entrance 1700. You're
5 o'clock. And notice the church bells are showing the right time on the body camera. It just rang once.
Oh, the old and broken.
3 coming in.
What do we have down there first?
So he came in, cleared this out. This is where the two took refuge.
Okay.
They're looking at the first floor where Dylan pointed where her room was. And something about the brother. The brother. So I'm going to go back just a little bit. I'm going to slow it down, not to where we can hear that screeching noise. Okay, let's listen.
What do we have down there first?
So he came in, cleared this out. This is where the...
Okay, here we go. Here we go. He just said it. So he came in this house. Okay, right there at the front door. He came in the front door, guys. Right there. They're giving a synopsis. And this is that Snyder speaking and Payne walking around with the investigator? Okay. So he came in this house. This was where?
The two took refuge.
The two took refuge right there in the bottom.
Okay.
The brother. The brother. He. The brother. Okay, they're talking about the Arizona plate. They're taking down plates. So one of them something about a daughter. That wait a minute. He entered the house. The brother. Who is he talking about? He entered the house, the brother, and the daughter. Who is the father, the son, and the daughter? Holy shit. Wait a minute. Did I hear that right? Let me grab my notebook. He just said the brother, the brother, and the daughter. Isn't that what he just said?
He came in, cleared this out. This is where the two took refuge.
Okay.
He came in. This is where the two took refuge. The brother. Oh my God. Oh my God. If Kaylee was bound up and in trouble, but before that happened, who would she call? Who would you call? Who would you call? If somebody messed with me, I'd call my dad.
Yes, sir.
We need someone that can analyze this time frame from the minute they walk in to see and separate those two conversations. There is something going on in the background. Obviously, the guys are back in the CSI trailer, and then the investigator is being told, Snyder, it sounds like, is telling him exactly what happened, and Payne is walking around with them.
Back room.
She said she heard you cleaning up afterwards, the water running at any point.
She didn't say she heard anything like water or...
We didn't get any of that from anybody, no.
We didn't get any of that from anybody. No.
Time
So the investigator is obviously asking...
they've been drinking a little bit.
No, been drinking.
Obviously, have money and stuff. But no, nobody said anything about hearing the buses running or anything.
There's a dog again. That the canine dog?
This thing is or whatever. You know what this is, or
I wonder what they're looking at. This thing is...
They've been drinking a little bit. Obviously, have money and stuff. But no, nobody said anything about hearing the buses running or anything.
this thing is or whatever.
Okay. Xana doesn't have a brother. Maddie doesn't have a brother. Ethan has a brother and Kaylee has a brother. So let's narrow it down. Which brother? Does Dylan have a brother? And does Bethany have a brother? I don't know whose dog that is. Is Murphy in a truck? Maybe Murphy's over at JD's by then. This was at 5:02. What time did he get Murphy? I think that's the only one report from the ghost. So does Dylan have a brother? Does she have a half brother or something? Bethany, I'm not sure. But if they did, maybe let's eliminate Dylan because her brother would be in Boise. And Bethany, if he had a brother, he's probably in Las Vegas. So it would have to be either Kaylee or Ethan. Kaylee or Ethan. And Ethan's brother, he didn't have a phone. Was he accounted for? I haven't seen any other interviews. And we still haven't seen any interviews. And it's still suspicious that the G's didn't race down there immediately. I wonder. I think Bethany is an only child. Not sure if DM. Kaylee makes sense. The light bulb guy. Steve Jr. Say what? Okay. So whatever this thing is, they're looking at this thing, whatever.
Do you know what this is? Or
do you know what this is? What are they looking at on the ground? I wonder if they're looking at the bracelet, the beads on the ground.
Where you coming out?
Yeah, okay. So obviously they're looking real close at the stairs now too.
Yeah, well, we'll come through in the video.
Yeah, right. Before and after.
Yeah. I think we might as well. I'll just yell for it.
You're 103, right, Cap?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah. Actually.
okay, so we verified that potentially, clearly, that Dylan may have been in that spare room. Well, spare room or her room at the time. And let's get further down this interview. I don't think I had anything else.
No, I had no idea he was here.
Okay. All right. Describe the guy that you saw.
I don't think he was a little bit taller than me. And I couldn't really see much of him, but I'm almost positive he was wearing a full black outfit. And he had this mask that was just over his forehead and over his mouth, and he didn't say anything to me, like, at all. I just shut the door and locked it, because I didn't know what to do. And I think he went out, like, the side door, the sliding door in the kitchen that goes out to the backyard.
Okay.
And then I didn't know anything else, so I called, and I was like, I just need to come downstairs.
So in the front door, out the back door. In the front door, out the back door. Kaylee ran down. Either she had to have been coming down this. She ran up the stairs. Kaylee had to have been going up. Gosh. He ran up. He came in. I wonder if Kaylee was calling JD because someone was trying to get in. Someone came in the front door. The bracelet or the necklace is on the ground. All the beads are at the door. And then Dylan ran to Bethany's room. There was a broken bracelet in the downstairs room. Gosh. Her hands are lying.
I'm finding because I don't know where
Caleb, you're saying her hands are lying.
anyone else is. And I called Maddie, I called Xana, I called Kaylee, no one would answer.
Okay. All right. For Xana, do you know how old she is?
She's 20.
Is she in our sorority house?
Yeah, not anymore.
Okay. She's a student at U.
Yes.
Well, Senor, you have a really great comment. A really amazing comment.
You are the greatest of all time.
I am going to put you in that drawing also. So, you know, when a sister would call her brother when her boyfriend is attacking her. Wow. Although Kaylee's brother was over at Alpha Kappa Lambda, wasn't he? On campus, he could be over there pretty quickly. He could be over there pretty quickly. And I wonder whose car this really was. I know they said it was registered in Ethan's name. But wasn't there a black vehicle that Kaylee also was seen in when she came back, was going through the Walmart convenience store in Hayden? Wasn't that a black SUV also? You have a great point, Senor. Let's go ahead and listen to the rest of this real quick.
Do you have any contact information for her parents?
No,
It's okay. Well,
okay.
we can get that eventually.
Her dad's name.
And then Ethan. E-E-T-H-A-N.
And Chapin, C-H-A-P-I-N.
Now he asks who Ethan. This doesn't make sense to me.
She's saying this morning around 4, there's a guy, black mask, was in there. She didn't recognize him. She heard girls screaming upstairs. She got scared, locked herself in the room. And then the screaming all stopped. She's pretty sure that this masked person went out that back. And right now I'm getting all victim information. She knows the 2 girls are up there. I haven't told her who's deceased or anything like that. They have 4 people that are unaccounted for right now.
Okay. Whose dog?
Whose dog? Who owns the dog?
Kaylee. Someone in the truck.
Okay.
Tyson's on his way, and you're testing on getting.
Since she knows a bunch of the people who are living here, I'm getting all their names, and then I'll finish collecting all their information.
Okay.
Okay. How old is Ethan?
And I apologize. There's a door downstairs next to the bathroom that's got a padlock on or a lock on it because.
We don't know.
Okay. Who has access to that room? Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not something you guys normally run.
No, we have no idea what it is.
Thank you guys.
Okay.
Wow.
So Ethan, how old is Ethan?
Wow. If Dylan lived downstairs in that area, she would probably know all about that door. And she answered that so confidently. Wow. Wow, y'all. This has been a long live, longer than I expected. So there is so much more that I have to share. So tomorrow's Freedom Friday. I'm going to do a very early stream tomorrow. It's probably going to be about 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. It'll be a little bit later in the day. And then I will be gone for the entire weekend. I will return Monday late afternoon. I'll have a 3 p.m. afternoon stream on Monday. But do me a favor until then. Watch some of these older videos. Use your nester's eyes. Look at everything you can with a new, fresh mind and ask the questions. Ask the unthinkable questions. Remember, we love you here. We love our mods, and stay grounded until you return. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be well.
Yeah, this is my road. Let it roll. Pack my dreams in a beat up leather case. Let the dust of that suffocating place. They said a girl like me should stay in line, but I'd rather lose their map than lose my mind. Tune the radio to a station playing wild and free. Windows down, smelling like the pine trees. 500 miles and I'm just getting started. Say goodbye to the heavy-hearted. Oh, nobody's holding the reins tonight. I'm chasing the edge of the morning light. This is my highway, my open sky. I've got the wings and I'm ready to fly. No, yet can tie me down. I'm leaving my tracks all over this town. Freedom, freedom, yeah. Now they call me an outlaw, call me a breeze, shaking the leaves right off of the trees. Ain't no speed limits on the choices I make, with every single risk that I happily take. Got a heart like an engine, loud and true, writing my own rules. Nothing brand new, just an old soul singing with the modern beat, dusting off the pavement under my feet. This is my highway, my open sky. I've got the wind, can tie me down. I'm leaving my tracks all over this town. Freedom, freedom, yeah, ooh, yeah. And if I get lost in the dark of the night, I know my own stars will show me the light. No more shadows to cover my face. I'm running my pace, I'm winning my race. Freedom, yeah, just let it roll.